Now, several weeks ago, the AU men's basketball team was looking to finish off their regular season with a few W's and earn a spot in the GLIAC tournament. And before I say too much, the Eagles were absolutely dominant on their home court as they went into the game with a 13-0 home record at Cage Gymnasium. In the game, Gannon came to town with an 0-9 record on the year away from home. So basically, everything seemed to be in Ashland's favor. However, in a tough and close game throughout, the Golden Knights were able to hold Ashland off and come away with an 86-83 victory. The teams were tied at 43 at the break as the lead changed 15 times in that initial 20 minutes. The Eagles even had several chances in the final seconds to tie it, but were unsuccessful on several three attempts. The Eagles were led by Rob McCray as he had a career-high 30 points and ended the evening with 6 three-pointers. AU also received 22 points and 9 rebounds from Greg Emmons, and Brett Bartlett had 16 points. Both teams relied on the long ball as Gannon was 11 of 19 from behind the arc, and AU finished 13 of 39 from long distance. After the tough loss, the Eagles returned home several days later to take on Merciers. Were they able to get back to their winning ways, Brian?
Coming off their first home loss of the season, the Eagles were hoping to rebound against Merciers on February 17th. With the win, AU could move into a tie for second place with the Hearst in the GLIAC South. Ashland came out hot, hitting 58% of their shots from the floor in the first half, going up 45-31. AU hit 8 three-pointers. That's a lot more than 3, but they hit 8. That's 24 points from threes. And they scored 17 points off turnovers. In the second half, things didn't get any better for the Lakers. AU shot 50% from the field, hitting 6 threes. Ashland won 86-56 as they shot 54% from the floor while holding the Lakers to 40% shooting.
Ashland was on fire.
You could say that. Senior Greg Emmons scored 23 points, junior Brett Bartlett added 21, and Steve Gansey came off the bench to hit 4 threes and score 16. With the win, Ashland secured a spot in the GLIAC tournament. Travis, could they improve their standing against Findlay?
Well, it was indeed that time. In-state rival Findlay came to town, and let's just say the Oilers are having a great year as they've only lost 1 game the entire season. AU knew going into the game they had to get off to a fast start. However, that was not the case as Findlay jumped to an early lead and led 36-24 at halftime as the Eagles shot a mere 20% in the first half. AU came back to shoot 61.5% in the second half and outscored the visitors 43-40, but it was too little too late as Findlay came away with a 76-67 victory. It was a very physical game as there was a total of 45 fouls called and the teams combined for 69 free throw attempts. Bartlett led AU with 19 points, Knight had 15 points, and Emmons scored 13. Emmons and McCray also each added 7 rebounds. After the tough loss, the Eagles went into the GLIAC tournament and had to play on the road. And guess what? Findlay was the host team, and AU had to try the nearly impossible. Knock off Findlay at Findlay. Were they able to do it, Vale?
You didn't let me guess, Travis, but the men would be facing a tall order, not only stopping. My guesses are fine. Not only did the Eagles have to stop the Oilers' 24-game win streak, but they also had to stop the nation's longest home winning streak at 55 games. The Eagles hung tough in the first half, going up 17-16 midway through the half on a 3 by Greg Emmons. Findlay regained control later in the half, however, but still led by just 1, 30-29. Early in the second half, the team scored on 9 straight possessions, turning up the tempo in the game. A 3 by Bartlett 3 minutes into the half cut the deficit to 2, but the Oilers then made their move. A 15-4 run over the next 7 minutes put Findlay ahead, and Ashland could not answer. The Oilers shot 63% from the floor in the second half. They also forced 18 AU turnovers over the course of the game, outscoring the Eagles 20-7 in that category. Emmons scored 16 points and had 7 rebounds, but shot just 5 of 16 from the field. Rob McCray had 11, the only other Eagle in double figures. The 70-54 loss ended the Eagles' season.
Like you said, the Eagles ended the season 16-12 overall and 8-9 in the GLIAC. The tournament game against Findlay was the last game for seniors Greg Emmons, Rob McCray, Vaughn Knight, Matt Engler, Richard Rucker, and Tony Matalone. Several of the Eagles were also honored with all-conference awards. Emmons was first team, Knight earned second team honors, and McCray was named to the all-defensive first team. Congratulations to the entire men's basketball team on a great season.
The AU women's basketball team was also looking to earn a GLIAC tournament seed, and they needed to get a few wins at home in order to do so. The first time Ashland and Gannon met this season, Gannon handed AU a 93-69 defeat, and AU had waited for the chance to face the Golden Knights at home, looking to exact some revenge. The Lady Eagles got off to a good start, taking a 13-7 lead early in the first half. Gannon responded, though, going on a 25-10 run over the next 11 minutes. AU made a run to cut the lead to 3 at the half, 38-35. The Knights dominated the glass in the first 20 minutes, outscoring AU 17-0 on second chance points. The teams went back and forth until Gannon pulled away to a 63-53 lead midway through the half. AU eventually made a run, though, and took a 76-75 lead on 2 Amber Rawl free throws in the final 2 minutes. Another jumper gave Gannon the lead 1-1 again, and Ashland had several opportunities in the final 60 seconds, missing 2 shots that would have given them the advantage. And after Gannon missed the front end of a 1-and-1, Rawl grabbed the rebound and sprinted up the left sideline before losing the ball out of bounds with 8 seconds left. Gannon converted on their next 2 free throws, and sophomore Alethea Lamberson's 3 at the buzzer fell just short, giving the Knights a 79-76 win. AU shot 51.9% from the floor, but Gannon had 16 more shot attempts, mostly due to the Knights' 39-25 edge on the boards. Rawl finished with 28 points, hitting all 10 of her free throw attempts. Catherine Porterata had 13 points and 5 rebounds for AU. Now, Trav, could they get a win in their next home game?
Well, on paper, it seemed that the Eagles should easily come away with a victory over Mercyhurst, as the Lakers had only won 2 GLIAC games all year. However, in the first half, Mercyhurst kept sticking around as AU led just 39-35 at halftime. But at halftime, Coach Sue Ramsey must have given a great speech as the Eagles came out and outscored the visitors 21-0 in the first 8 minutes of action.
Wow.
And, well, needless to say, they never looked back as they went on to win 78-60. 3 Eagles reached double figures as Rawl scored 19 points and collected 7 rebounds. Porterata had 19 points and 5 assists. Lacey Romine scored 13 points, and Lamberson also had 7 assists. AU was then set to host their final regular season game against the in-state rival Findlay. How did they fare?
AU didn't know it at the time, but their game February 22nd against Findlay would be their final contest of the season. It was senior night at Cates Gymnasium as Mia Edmonds, Amber Rawl, and Catherine Porterata's collegiate careers came to an end. Findlay came in with just 2 conference wins, much like Mercyhurst,
yep.
But they looked to play spoiler. In the first half, they did just that as Brittany Wells scored 19 points to keep the Oilers close, down just 41-31. In the second half, however, the Eagles came together to have perhaps their best half of basketball of the season.
Good way to go out.
It would be. The defense was stellar and the offense hit on all cylinders. Findlay was held to 30 points in the second half, shooting just 20.5% from the field, and they shot just 27.5% from the game. The Lady Eagles scored 61 second-half points. That's how many Findlay scored in the game. And they shot 69.4% in the half. For the contest, Rawl scored a game-high 24. Porterata scored 18 points and had 14 rebounds. And sophomore Betsy Morrison scored a career-high 22, shooting 9 of 11 from the floor. She also had 5 rebounds in 25 minutes of action. The 102-61 win saw all 10 Eagles score at least 3 points, and AU handed out 28 assists with just 9 turnovers. And they outscored Findlay 64-16 in the paint and 22-2 on the fast break.
Well, like you said, Brian, the Eagles were not able to get some help from other teams, and they were held out of the conference tournament. However, AU finished the season at 14-13 overall and 7-10 in GLIAC play. Amber Rawl was named first-team All-GLIAC, and Porterata was second-team. Congratulations to the Lady Eagles on a great season as well. Now we just started shooting the lights out.
Bowling.
Well, the lights are going to stay on, but the director has just called a timeout, so don't go too far. More Game Time Situation coming right up.
Hi, Mr. President. My parents believe that eating meals together will make our country strong. Is this something that you did when you were a kid?
I did eat with my family so long as my mother wasn't cooking.
Not good making fun of your mother, even if you are president. But it is good to have dinner with your kids. We know the more often children have dinner with their families, the less likely they are to smoke, drink, and use drugs. So simply having dinner together can help your children forever, even if you're not a great cook.
My name's Andy McDonald. I ride this useless wooden toy for a living. It's hard. I've been doing it for 13 years. I'm still lame. I do a trick called a 540. Took me a good 6 years to learn. There's a whole generation of skateboarders out there that are just as talented athletically as any basketball or football player. It takes somebody that's not going to be afraid to fall down a lot, because you definitely will fall down. You're not a failure until you refuse to get back up. Drugs are only going to hinder what I'm trying to do. That right there is my idea of getting high.
Kids, how do we take care of our teeth? Brush your teeth.
Twice a day. Floss your teeth. Once a day. You're a good driver, a careful driver, and you don't stand a chance. Not at a railroad crossing with bad sight lines and no lights or gates, where vegetation, buildings, or hills block your view, where you can't see the train and you only have seconds before it hits your safe, careful self and you die. Go to angelsontrack.org to report dangerous crossings, because careful is just no match for a 200-ton locomotive.
Now, I was informed over the timeout that the director doesn't have any timeouts left, and myself and Brian only have one timeout left, so I hope you guys are ready to make the long haul. Anyway, the AU wrestling team has been competing very well, throughout this season. They competed against a lot of D1 opponents.
They have played Ohio State, OU, Virginia. They faced a lot of top-notch quality opponents in the 2007
which is why they're
season.
ranked pretty high.
Yes, they are.
In the national rankings. Anyway, several weeks ago, it was the big challenge as the Eagles hosted the Midwest Regional Meet at Cage Gymnasium. As a team, the Eagles finished 4th overall in order to move on to the NCAA Division II championships. A wrestler must place in the top 4 of their weight class. Vale, were any AU wrestlers able to do that?
Indeed, they were, Travis. 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Ashland wrestlers were able to move on to the championships. Senior Tony Iveen will move on in the 141-pound weight class. Senior Eric Lakey at 165 pounds. Sophomore Justin Ferguson at 174. Senior Matt Allen at 184. And freshman David Crowley at 197. That's impressive.
That is very impressive.
Iveen, now 11-6, finished the day as the regional runner-up. Lakey, now 22-4 on the year, was also second place in the region. And Ferguson took second place as well, and he's now 11-7 on the year. Allen at 12-7 and Crowley at 16-13 were both third-place finishers.
That's very exciting that 5 wrestlers moved along. Not to be confused with the All-American Reject song, Move Along, Move Along.
No, nobody's going to do that.
The Eagles will head to Nebraska. They'll head to Kearney for the NCAA Division II Nationals held on March 9th and 10th.
And all they'll have to do is
move along.
Well, stay strong.
Stay strong. Weird. Anyways.
Move along.
Right, I understand. Now, Lakey is the only one that's ever been in the Nationals meet, as this is his 3rd time. So, and hopefully, like the cliche says, 3rd time is a charm. Lakey has been able to dominate his opponents for most of his career and is always very successful. However, the crew here at Gametime Situation was able to pin him, and now Chip Whipple has him locked up under the Gametime spotlight. Take it away, Chip.
Thanks, guys. I'm here with AU senior wrestler Eric Lakey. Thanks for being here, Eric.
Thank you.
Are you ready?
Yep.
Now, since wrestling isn't a mainstream sport as much as, say, basketball is or football, can you talk a little bit of how the wrestling team has done so far this year?
Actually, we done real well. Our expectations weren't too high for us this year because we have a really young team, and all the freshmen, everybody, they all worked hard. The group of great kids that came in this year, and then the older guys, just me, myself, and then Matt Allen, Justin Ferguson, who came in, all really just helped each other out, and it's been a really good year, better than expected, I would say.
Now, you personally, you've gone 22-4 this year, which is an outstanding mark. How have you been able to achieve the record of 22-4?
A lot of it's just getting older. I mean, when I came in my freshman year, it was real tough. I didn't do so hot as a lot of the freshmen know now, maybe. But I was 11-14, and then just experience through the last 4 years, gotten more experience, gotten better, working with a lot of good talent in the room, and hard work, I guess.
Now, this past weekend, you guys hosted regionals for the wrestling for Division II. The team took 4th. You took 2nd individually in your weight class. Can you just talk a little bit about the weekend, the success the team had, and then also your individual success?
Yeah, everybody did really well a lot because we've been working hard. Coach really pushes us. Everybody's been training, getting extra workouts in afterwards, and then I think a lot of guys were just ready when we came to regionals, and it was a good turnout. We got 5 guys to nationals, so I mean that's half the teams. So everybody's pretty pleased.
Now you wrestle at the 165 weight class. Can you talk about the training and the type of stuff you have to go in week week out to stay at that weight?
It's pretty crucial. A lot lot of hard training, cut my nose all the time. Pretty much just practice. I would say extra workouts, running a couple miles after practice every day, a little lift here and there, not to get too sore, but yeah, that's what I would say, just a normal wrestling workout, diet right. So.
Now, Nationals are this weekend. This is your third trip to Nationals. Can you talk a little bit about your previous trips, how well you did, and what you really look to achieve this year?
All right, well, my previous trips, they didn't go so hot. I would like to, this year, definitely place. Reach for gold is my goals. I'm pretty sure everybody on the team has the same goals and aspirations, so looking forward to it, excited.
Now, you mentioned earlier you got 4 other guys going with you to Nationals this year. How does it make you feel knowing that you're not there by yourself, that you also have team members there who are trying to compete and do the same thing you are?
It makes me feel good. I mean, it's really good this year because Tony Ivey and Justin Ferguson, they were both with me my freshman year, same class as me, and we're all older seniors now. Justin's not a senior, actually, but Matt Allen, and it's been good with getting those guys to go. It's going to be a fun time. We're all going to go out and do our best, and it's really exciting.
And one last question.
And then David Crowley, too. So.
One last question. You're a senior this year. What are your plans after you graduate?
I'm a PE major, so I'll have another year of school next year, actually. I plan on getting a job teaching somewhere. Don't really care where, don't really care. I mean, whatever opportunities arise. So take it and run, I guess. I don't know.
Okay, thanks, Eric. You are now officially off the Game Time Spotlight. We'll be back with more Game Time Situation right after this.
Hi, Mr. President. My parents believe that eating meals together will make our country strong. Is this something that you did when you were a kid?
I did eat with my family so long as my mother wasn't cooking.
It's not good making fun of your mother, even if you are president, but it is good to have dinner with your kids. We know the more often children have dinner with their families, the less likely they are to smoke, drink, and use drugs. So simply having dinner together can help your children forever, even if you're not a great cook.
My name's Andy McDonald. I ride this useless wooden toy for a living. It's hard. I've been doing it for 13 years. I'm still lame. I do a trick called a 540. Took me a good 6 years to learn. There's a whole generation of skateboarders out there that are just as talented athletically as any basketball or football player. It takes somebody that's not going to be afraid to fall down a lot, because you definitely will fall down. You're not a failure until you refuse to get back up. Drugs are only going to hinder what I'm trying to do. That right there is my idea of getting high.
Kids, how do we take care of our teeth?
Brush your teeth twice a day. Floss your teeth once a day. If you want healthy teeth, do this every day. Brush your teeth.
Fight tooth decay.
Floss your teeth.
Don't forget regular dental checkups, okay?
Brush your teeth twice a day. Floss your teeth once a day.
You're a good driver, a careful driver, and you don't stand a chance. Not at a railroad crossing with bad sight lines and no lights or gates, where vegetation, buildings, or hills block your view, where you can't see the train and you only have seconds before it hits your safe, careful self and you die. Go to angelsontrack.org to report dangerous crossings, because careful is just no match for a 200-ton locomotive.
Well, folks, that was the last time out of the entire show. So try to give it all, because just think, next week at this time.
Try to give it your. Maybe you need a break.
Yeah, I do need a break.
Okay, so.
Anyways, next week at this time, you'll be laying out on the beach, watching the sunset, the sand in between your toes, and looking at those beautiful, lovely birds chirping away. Now,
that's what Travis is all about. He's quite the ornithologist.
Speaking of the beach and water, the Eagles swimming team hosted the GLIAC Championship several weeks ago. On the men's side, the Eagles finished 4th out of a 7-team field, earning 573 points. Senior Omar Fatala won the gold in the 200 butterfly and was runner-up in the 100 butterfly. He also won the 50-yard freestyle. Freshman Jesper Madsen earned a silver medal in the 400 IM and was second in the 200-yard breaststroke. Madsen also earned a big award as he won the GLIAC Male Freshman of the Year. Freshman Chris Fett was third in the 100 backstroke. The 200-yard medley relay placed second as Fett, Chris Pecknick, Sean McGraw and Fatala made up the team. How did the women do, Vale?
On the women's side, they finished in 4th place. 2 Ashland women came away with GLIAC titles. Senior Megan Dort won the gold in the 100 breaststroke, and she also finished 3rd in the 200-yard breaststroke. The other champion for the Eagles, freshman Jenny Janssen, she led the pack in the 400 IM, and she shared the GLIAC Female Freshman of the Year award. Janssen finished 2nd in the 200 breaststroke. Sophomore Lizzie Wormer was 3rd in the 400 IM and 3rd in the 500-yard freestyle. Freshman Brittany Rode was 3rd in the 100 butterfly, and the 800 free relay team claimed a bronze medal. The team consisted of Janssen, Rode, Wormer, and junior Ashley Shoup. The 200-yard medley relay team finished 2nd as Emily Hilgert, Dort, Rode, and Shoup formed the team. And both the men and women will travel to the NCAA Championships in Buffalo, New York, March 14th through the 17th.
Well, from swimming to running we go, as the AU men and women's track teams were both in action 2 weekends ago as they competed at Saginaw Valley State in the GLIAC Indoor Track and Field Championships. The men's team finished in 2nd place with a score of 98 points. For the men, the distance relay team was 4th as the quartet consists of Anthony Bagro, Nate Logan, Edwin Smith, and Nick Glavak. In the weight throw, Kibwe Johnson won the event with a meet and fieldhouse record of 79.5.25. It's a heck of a throw. Robert Clank was the runner-up in the weight throw, and Brian Vickers was 5th. Former Game Time Spotlight participant Brian Ryman had 2 second-place finishes in the 200-meter dash and the 400-meter dash. Glavak took 5th place in the mile, Logan took 4th place in the long jump, and Vickers and Blaine Mag took 1st and 2nd places respectively in the shot put. For the meet, Brian Vickers was named the field athlete of the meet. Johnson has also been honored as the Regional Track and Field Athlete of the Year. Wow. As it just started, the men did pretty well. How did the women do at the same meet?
The Lady Eagles took home a 2nd place finish at the conference championship. Senior Jen Picucci won the Female Field Athlete of the Meet award. She won the triple jump. Stephanie Abbott won the Female Freshman Athlete of the Meet award, and Senior Amber Miller won the 55-meter hurdles, and Junior Jennifer Tinney won the shot put. Michelle Stark won the gold in the weight throw, and Tinney was 5th. Alyssa Klein finished 3rd in the 55-meter hurdles. Miller, Kylie Sekulich, Douglas, and Lisa Roth were part of the 4x400 relay team that placed 3rd. Jenna Ord was 2nd in the pole vault. Lauren Peelman was 7th, and much like Kibwe Johnson, Jennifer Tinney was also honored as the Female Regional Track Athlete of the Year.
Now, both teams have several athletes that have qualified for the national meet. The automatic qualifiers for the men's team are Kibwe Johnson in the weight throw and Brian Vickers in the shot put, and Robert Clank is also in the weight throw. For the women's side, Michelle Stark is an automatic qualifier in the weight throw.
The provisional qualifiers for the men's team are Blaine Mag in the shot put, Brian Ryman in the 200 and 400 meter dash, Edwin Smith in the 400 meter dash, Dan Tierney in the pole vault, and Brian Vickers in the weight throw. For the women, Stephanie Abbott in the long jump, Tara Cooper in the shot put and weight throw, Joanne Douglas in the long jump, Alyssa Klein with the 60-meter hurdles and the 400-meter dash, Jenna Ord in the pole vault, Amber Miller with the 60-meter hurdles, Jen Picucci in the long and triple jumps, that's a lot of jumping, and Jennifer Tinney in the shot put and weight throw.
Well, it looks like many of the AU track and field athletes could have a big weekend as they will travel to Boston, Massachusetts in the NCAA Championships this Friday and Saturday. Now on to 2 AU teams that are just getting started out on the diamond. The baseball and softball teams have recently got their seasons underway. 2 weeks ago, the baseball team kicked off their season with 2 doubleheaders at Bellarmine.
I hope they're not kicking anything. That wouldn't be very baseball. Maybe they're swinging into action.
And pitching their way.
Okay.
Pitching their way to victory.
I could see it.
Anyways, in the first game at Bellarmine, the Knights came away with a 2-1 win. Bellarmine scored twice in the 5th inning to take the lead. Ashland was held to just 2 hits the entire game. Senior Josh Davidson picked up the loss for AU in a complete game as he had 2 walks and 6 strikeouts. How did the nightcap go?
Looking to rebound off that loss, the Eagles sent freshman pitcher Ben Menard to the mound. The 6'4" righty threw a complete game shutout in his college debut. He struck out 8 and walked just 1 batter. AU won 4-0 in a game shortened due to darkness, as Chase Beatty homered and Justin Richards had 2 hits to lead the offensive attack.
Well, the following day, the Eagles once again played in a doubleheader at Bellarmine, and this time the Eagles were able to get a win in the first game as they won 7-4. In that game, the Eagles had 12 hits as Justin Randall was 3 for 5 with a double and drove in 2 runs. Ron Odison and Tyson Rowland had 2 hits apiece. Casey Jerza had a double and had 2 RBI. Todd Slankerman pitched 6 innings, giving up 8 hits, 4 runs, 2 earned, as he walked 2 and struck out 6. Dan McGinnis pitched the 7th inning, picking up the save as he struck out 1. Now, were the Eagles able to get a double dipper for the day?
Ashland was looking to get the series win in the final game of the weekend, and they threw senior Justin Richards at Bellarmine. Richards went 4 2/3 innings, allowing an unearned run while striking out 5. The game was called after 6 innings, with AU taking a 3-1 win on the strength of 2 Beatty sacrifice flies. Dan McGinnis got the win, going 2/3 of an inning, and Tom Abbott got the save, also pitching 2/3. The Eagles are now 3-1 on the season, and they will travel to Fort Myers, Florida for the Gene Cusick Classic, where starting March 8th, where they will play 14 games in 9 days.
That's a lot of games.
That is a lot of action
they gotta have good arms.
They do.
They got to have some good pitching.
They got some.
Well, the only difference for the next sport is just moving the fence in a little bit and playing with a little bigger ball.
Okay.
The softball team started their season off this past weekend as they traveled to Salisbury, North Carolina. The schedule got changed a little bit due to rain, but after the sun came out, the Eagles won 3 out of 4 games. AU got off to a sluggish start in the first game of the season as they were defeated 10-0 by Frances Marion.
Just one girl beat them 10-0? That's kind of bad.
Maybe she hit 10 home runs and pitched a perfect game. I don't know.
Okay.
Anyways,
Must
Frances
be the
Marion.
school?
Yeah,
it's a school?
It is the school.
Oh, okay.
Weird. The Eagles managed just 2 hits as junior third baseman Kristen McGaughy and sophomore catcher Ashley Evans each singled. Junior Jennifer Alderson started for AU and took the loss as she gave up 6 runs on 4 hits in 3 innings.
However, the Eagles were able to rebound with a tight 1-0 win over East Stroudsburg. In the bottom of the 6th inning, senior outfielder Bree Beabout knocked in junior Daniel Reichener with an RBI single to score the game's only run. Senior ace Jamie Williams was masterful in the game as she struck out 16 batters, including a stretch of 7 straight in the early innings. Williams struck out the side in the 1st, 2nd, and 6th innings.
Well, on Saturday, the Eagles went up against the defending Division II national champions, Lock Haven University. Ashland was able to score a huge victory as they upset Lock Haven 5-2. Lock Haven scored in the top of the 1st inning, but in the bottom of the 1st, Alderson hit a solo shot. Beabout then hit a 2-run blast in the 3rd inning to give AU the lead it wouldn't relinquish. The Eagles added insurance runs in the 5th and 6th innings before Lock Haven put up a run in the top of the 7th. Williams was very dominant as she fanned 12 batters, giving up just 2 runs on 3 hits. Beabout went 2 for 3 at the plate with 3 RBI. Junior Angie Westenkircher was 2 for 2 with a double and scored 2 runs.
Ashland then capped off the weekend with a 9-0 win over Queens on Sunday morning. Junior Kelly Williams went 2 for 3 with a solo home run and 2 runs scored. Beabout added 2 RBI with a single, while Reichner tallied 2 hits, including a double and an RBI. McGowie also had a double and a run scored. 7 of AU starters recorded a base hit, and Williams and freshman Samantha Hendricks each pitched 3 innings and combined for a no-hitter. AU will return to action next week for spring break as they will travel to Kissimmee, Florida for the Rebel Spring Games from March 11th through the 18th. Eagles will play 12 games at the tournament before returning for their home opener on March 21st against Ohio Dominican.
Also, real quick, the women's tennis team dropped their first match of the spring and saw their record fall to 7-10 on Monday as they were defeated 7-2 by Ohio Westland. Morgan Sanders and Krista Halicki were the singles winners. Well, like I said at the beginning of the show, the time is almost here. Spring break is several days away, and hopefully several of the Eagles teams and individuals are just days away from championships.
It's also very close for the baseball and softball teams, playing quite a few games in a short amount of time, but I think they're ready to go.
I think so too. So once again, we have a very easy and fun job being able to bring the loyal fans up to date on all Ashland University athletics.
You're right there, Travis. It's definitely easy to inform everyone of the winning programs here at AU.
But I guess it is time to go, but don't worry, we'll return on March 28th, same time, same channel.
That's right, folks. We hope you have a fun and safe spring break, and we will be back to update you on how the individuals and teams did in the championships and how the baseball and softball teams fared down south.
Chip Whipple will also bring another AU athlete under the Game Time spotlight. So once again, hope everyone has a great spring break, either laying on the beach or on the couch, and we'd like to thank our whole crew for a job well done. See you in a few weeks.
Good night.